want you to look at your hand right now. Count your fingers.
5. Same as every human since the beginning.
This animal has 6, one extra, growing right out of the wrist. And here's the part that flips everything.
It didn't grow there for eating.
It grew there for climbing. 25 million years of climbing. So long ago, even the mountains were still being built.
And this week, it finally reaches the highest branch in the forest. Welcome back to the Fenekie Explorer Club, where every animal is a superhero in disguise.
Calling all Fennekians.
This week, we're heading to the cloud forests of Nepal, high in the Eastern Himalayas, and we found something extraordinary.
This animal grows a 6th finger from its wrist, and that finger was invented for climbing trees long before it ever touched a bamboo shoot.
Let's go. So our animal this week is the red panda.
I'm gonna stop you right there because every single person listening just thought of a giant panda. Are they related?
Not related at all. This is the first thing everyone gets wrong, and honestly, it's one of my favorite facts about the red panda. Giant pandas are bears, literal bears. They're in the bear family, the same family as brown bears and polar bears. Red pandas are in their own completely unique family. They are the only member. There's no other living animal that is a red panda.
A family of one.
A whole family just for them. And they look nothing like a giant panda. Let me describe what they actually look like.
Please.
They're small, typically about 3 to 5 kilograms, which is 7 to 11 pounds, though some grow larger, roughly the size of a large domestic cat.
I always pictured them bigger.
Everyone does. And they have this deep rust red and chestnut brown fur, darker on the legs and belly, lighter across the back. Their face has a black mask, like a bandit mask across the muzzle and eyes. Small, round, white-edged ears. And then there's the tail.
Tell me about the tail.
The tail is almost as long as the rest of the body. It's thick, full, and ringed, dark brown, alternating with amber and gold. It sweeps out behind them when they move, and it's doing several jobs at once, which we'll get to.
They sound like something from a fairy tale.
They genuinely do. The eyes are dark and round, ringed with those black mask markings, and they have this expression of complete, alert calm, like they know something you don't.
Where do they actually live?
Eastern Himalayas. Nepal, Bhutan, northeast India, parts of Myanmar, and southwestern China. And not at comfortable elevations. We're talking 2,000 to 4,800 meters above sea level, at 6,500 to nearly 16,000 feet. The air up there is thin. The winters drop to minus 15 degrees Celsius, which is 5 degrees Fahrenheit.
And they live in bamboo forests at that altitude?
In the bamboo forests, yes, which grow thick and tall and cold and misty. And red pandas come out mostly at dawn and dusk, when the light is low and the world is quiet.
Okay, our character this week is Rusty the Bamboo Acrobat, and the storybook is called Rusty and the Highest Branch. The name already means something.
The name pays off beautifully, and now is the perfect time to talk about what makes Rusty extraordinary, because the highest branch is the whole story. The 6th finger, the false thumb. This is the center of everything this week.
Walk me through it.
If you look at a red panda's paw, you see 5 fingers, like ours, but then there's one more thing growing out from the base of the wrist on the palm side. It's a bone, not a true jointed finger, but it curves out and presses against the opposite side of whatever the paw is holding.
So when the paw wraps around a bamboo stalk,
5 fingers curled from one direction, and this 6th bone presses in from the other. The whole thing closes like a grip, a real complete grip, the way a hand holds something.
like a small hand holding a pole.
Exactly like that. And you can watch red pandas use it. They pick up a bamboo shoot, hold it up, and eat. The grip looks completely natural and precise. You'd swear it was a hand.
Now, you said it didn't evolve for eating.
Here's where it gets genuinely extraordinary. There's a creature in the fossil record called Simoscion, which was an ancestor of the red panda. It lived about 25 million years ago, puma-sized, probably 30 or 40 kilograms, so somewhere between 65 and 90 pounds.
A puma-sized ancestor of the red panda.
And Simoscion had a false thumb. Same structure, same wrist bone adapted into that gripping extension. Scientists found Simoscion fossils in Spain, in Madrid, and the false thumb is right there in the fossil record.
So far, sounds like a bamboo-eating ancestor.
Except Simoscion wasn't a bamboo eater. It was a carnivore. It ate meat. There's no evidence of the specialized jaw or digestive system of a bamboo specialist. It was a predator.
A meat-eating predator with a false thumb.
And the paleontologists who study those fossils concluded that the false thumb in Simoscion was used for tree climbing, because gripping narrow branches is exactly what a false thumb would help a large predator do. Same thing Rusty does in the storybook.
So the false thumb existed in the red panda lineage before bamboo was ever on the menu.
By tens of millions of years. The thumb was for climbing first. Red pandas evolved their bamboo diet much later, maybe 2 to 3 million years ago. And the climbing tool got co-opted for the new job of gripping and stripping bamboo.
The thumb didn't change. The diet changed around the thumb.
The thumb was already there. And this is why the title, Rusty and the Highest Branch, carries something real. That sixth finger on the bamboo stalk is older than the bamboo habit. When Rusty, in the storybook, looks up at that highest branch, he's doing what his lineage has done for 25 million years. The breakfast came later. The climbing came first.
I love that so much. Would you notice the false thumb if you were looking at a red panda?
If you were looking, yes, it's distinct. There's a clear protrusion from the inner wrist, and when the paw is pressed flat against something, you can count 6 contact points. The storybook has a close-up scene of Rusty's hand on the bamboo stalk. Count the fingers and you'll find 6.
Count them and you find 6.
That's the moment.
Giant pandas also have a false thumb, don't they?
Yes, and this is one of the most striking facts in all of evolutionary biology. Giant pandas evolved a false thumb, different bone, through different genes, through a completely different developmental process, but the same basic structure, an extended wrist element that creates a gripping digit for bamboo.
But red pandas and giant pandas aren't related.
They shared a common ancestor roughly 60 million years ago. After that, the lineages went completely separate ways. Red pandas are their own family, completely distinct. Giant pandas are bears, completely different biology, completely different evolutionary history.
And they both landed on the same invention.
Independently, without knowing about each other, 2 completely unrelated animals faced a similar problem, needing to grip bamboo, and both evolved a false thumb to solve it.
What do scientists call it when 2 unrelated animals come up with the same solution?
Convergent evolution, when 2 unrelated lineages independently arrive at similar structures because they're solving similar problems. It happens in nature more than you'd think, but the double false thumb is one of the most dramatic documented examples in vertebrate biology. 2 inventors, separated by 60 million years, building the same tool without ever meeting.
Using completely different blueprints.
Different genes, different bones, same outcome. That's convergent evolution.
Let's talk about the diet, because I gather there's something strange going on.
The diet is wonderfully paradoxical. Red pandas eat almost exclusively bamboo. About 98% bamboo, shoots, leaves, the new green growth, with a small amount of fruit, insects, the occasional other food rounding it out.
Essentially herbivores.
Essentially, but they evolved from carnivores. Their ancestors were meat eaters, and the digestive system didn't redesign itself as fully as the diet changed. Red pandas have the gut of a carnivore trying to process plant matter.
What does that mean in practice?
They can't break down bamboo efficiently. A proper herbivorm, a deer, a cow, has a specialized stomach that ferments plant material and extracts the energy. Red pandas don't have that, so most of the bamboo they eat passes through barely digested.
Their droppings look like bamboo.
Like bamboo threads. The plant just goes through. So to get enough energy, they have to eat a lot. About 1.3 kilograms per day, which is just under 3 pounds, for an animal that weighs maybe 4 or 5 kilograms. That's a significant proportion of body weight in food every single day.
Most of their waking hours must be eating.
Foraging and eating takes up most of their active time, and they're active at dawn and dusk, so those windows are precious. But bamboo works despite the inefficiency because it's everywhere in their habitat, and nobody else is eating it in the same way. You don't have to hunt it, you don't have to compete for it.
If you can tolerate the inefficiency, you get an essentially unlimited food source.
As long as it stays there.
Which brings us to the thing that keeps conservation biologists up at night.
Our character is called Rusty the Bamboo Acrobat. Tell me about the movement.
Red pandas are built for the canopy in a way that really has to be seen to be believed. They can leap up to 1.5 meters between branches. That's about 5 feet, roughly the length of a kitchen table.
For an animal the size of a cat.
For an animal the size of a cat, yes. And they have semi-retractable claws, curved like hooks, that catch into bark and bamboo with each step. Their spine is flexible in ways most mammals aren't. They can move through a tangle of branches in ways larger animals simply can't follow.
And the tail is doing something during all of this.
The tail is the balance pole. Think of a tightrope walker holding a long pole out to either side. The ringed tail shifts and counterbalances as the body moves through the canopy. Without it, the acrobatics wouldn't be possible.
So the tail is beautiful and functional.
The tail does at least 4 things: balance, insulation when they sleep, possibly signaling between individuals, and those rings, amber and gold and dark brown, might help them recognize each other in the forest. Nature very rarely builds something purely for looks.
And the highest branches in the storybook, why can't other animals just go up there?
Think about what can't hold a thin bamboo stalk. A leopard weighs anywhere from 30 to 80 kilograms, that's 65 to 175 pounds. It can't grip a narrow stalk at the top of the plant. Birds can grip, but they can't feed on the shoots the same way. Most animals that might want those tender young shoots at the very top simply can't reach them.
But Rusty can, with 6 fingers.
The false thumb is the key that unlocks those shoots. He grips the stalk, presses all 6 points of contact into it, and climbs to where nobody else can follow. That's the whole payoff of the storybook. The thumb was reaching for that branch for 25 million years.
These are genuinely cold mountains. How does an animal this small survive at that elevation in winter?
A few things worth looking at one at a time. The coat first. Red pandas have dense, double-layered fur, an outer coat that's coarse and water-resistant, a softer inner coat for insulation, and fur on the bottoms of their paws.
On the paw pads.
Right, on the paw pads, which most animals don't have to any significant degree. For a red panda at elevation, it does 2 things. It insulates against frozen surfaces, ice and cold rock and snow, and it provides grip on surfaces that would be slippery for an unpadded foot, like built-in grip socks for a mountain climber.
And the sleeping technique?
The tail wraps around the body when they curl up to sleep, not loosely. It comes all the way up and over the face. The animal curls into a ball, the tail wraps tight, and from the outside you see basically just a ball of rings, no visible animal inside.
The face is covered.
Completely covered. The tail is a built-in blanket. In a tree hollow with temperatures dropping to minus 15 Celsius, that's 5 Fahrenheit, they sleep through it without any external shelter beyond the hollow itself.
They brought their own blanket.
Their whole life they carry it with them.
You said the bamboo sometimes isn't there. What does that mean?
Bamboo is unusual in how it reproduces. The species red pandas rely on most in the Himalayas, a genus called Fargesia, flowers on a very long cycle. We're talking 65 to 125 years. A century of growing, spreading, establishing, and then it flowers, releases seeds, and the entire plant colony dies.
All at once?
The whole clonal colony, which can cover a huge area, flowers and dies together. It's not individual plants aging out and being replaced, it's the entire thing collapsing simultaneously.
And then it takes 10 years to grow back.
10 or more years from seed to established stand, which means in that patch, the food just isn't there for a decade.
And in a fragmented forest,
That's where it becomes catastrophic. In a connected forest, if one bamboo patch cycles out, a red panda can move through the trees to another patch at a different stage of its cycle. But if the forest is broken up by roads and farms and settlements, the red panda can't cross safely. It's trapped in a failing bamboo patch with nowhere to go.
not one threat but several things that make each other worse.
That's exactly what's happening.
How many red pandas are there right now?
Fewer than 10,000 in the wild. That's fewer red pandas than there are people in some small towns. Some estimates put the number as low as 2,500 to 5,000. They're hard to count because they're solitary, elusive, and live in dense habitat, but the trend is clear.
What's the trend?
A 50% population decline over the last 20 years, half the red panda population in 2 decades. The IUCN, the scientific body that assesses these things, lists them as endangered and has since 2015.
What's driving the decline?
Habitat loss is the primary driver by a significant margin. Logging, road construction, hydroelectric dam projects, agricultural expansion into the mountain forests. In Nepal, 70% of red panda habitat sits outside protected areas. The trees can be cut legally, and often are.
70% unprotected? That's most of the habitat.
Most of it. And then there's a threat that doesn't get the coverage habitat loss does, but that the people working on the ground say is extremely serious. Dogs.
Domestic dogs?
Free-roaming dogs, strays, and dogs belonging to herders who move livestock through red panda territory. Dogs carry canine distemper virus. This is a disease that is 100% fatal to red pandas. There's no recovery. A red panda that contracts it dies.
That's devastating.
And dogs also directly kill red pandas in some areas. The combination of disease transmission and direct predation makes free-roaming dogs one of the most significant ground-level threats.
Is there a trade problem?
Red pandas are captured for the illegal exotic pet trade, mostly in Nepal and Myanmar. They have the highest level of international protection, CITES Appendix 1, but enforcement is weak across much of their range. In Nepal, 70% of red panda habitat has inadequate ranger coverage.
So it's habitat loss, dogs, the trade, the bamboo cycle, climate change.
Climate change is pushing the alpine vegetation zone higher, which shrinks suitable habitat from below. Each threat alone would be manageable. Together, they compound.
Okay, but we do this through love, not fear, so I need the hope.
The hope is tangible. It's happening right now, on the ground, in Nepal.
Tell me everything.
There's a program called the Forest Guardian Program, run by an organization called the Red Panda Network. They've trained 128 local people to be forest guardians who walk through red panda habitat 4 times a year: February, May, August, November. Every year, every quarter. They record what they see, monitor the bamboo, track signs of red panda presence, and watch for poaching.
128 people walking those forests.
And the results are remarkable. Before the program was established, the area was seeing roughly 10 poaching incidents per year. In the 5 to 6 years since the Guardians became active, the number of poaching incidents has been 0.
0.
Not reduced, eliminated. 0 incidents in Guardian areas compared to 10 per year before.
That's the headline.
And it goes further. In 2024, the Red Panda Network secured a $2.5 million 5-year grant to restore 500 hectares of bamboo forest in the Elam district of Nepal. 500 hectares is about 1,235 acres, roughly 1,000 football fields of bamboo. The goal is to reconnect a fragmented forest corridor so red pandas can move between habitat patches again.
Replanting the paths between the islands.
The connections between the patches so when the bamboo cycles out in one area, red pandas have a safe route to another. Not just protecting what's left, but rebuilding what was cut apart.
And the guardians are local people from those communities.
People who know that forest better than anyone. Some are women who were previously economically dependent on cutting wood for fuel. The program created income through guardianship, through ecotourism homestays, through handicraft co-ops. Protecting the forest became more economically valuable than harvesting it.
Conservation that works for the people who live there.
The only kind that lasts. If the people alongside these animals benefit from their survival, the animals survive. It's that simple and that hard.
I keep thinking about that false thumb. 25 million years of climbing. One slow, long, patient climb toward the highest branch. And conservation is the same kind of climb, isn't it? One restored hectare at a time.
One guardian walking the forest at a time.
6 fingers on the bamboo, and the branch holds.
All right, quiz time. 3 questions about our Bamboo Acrobat. Ready?
Ready.
Question 1. Red pandas have a 6th finger, but what is it actually made of? Is it a true jointed finger or something else?
It's a wrist bone, not a true jointed finger. It's embedded in the tendons at the base of the wrist and extends out to create a gripping surface. Scientists call it a sesamoid bone, which means a bone held in the tendons rather than connected at a joint.
Correct. Question 2, and this is the heart of the episode. True or false, the red panda's false thumb evolved to help it eat bamboo?
False. The fossil record shows the false thumb existed in a meat-eating ancestor called Simoscion batelleri 25 million years ago, long before red pandas were bamboo eaters. The thumb evolved for climbing. The bamboo grip came millions of years later.
Right on every count. Last question. Red pandas and giant pandas both evolved a false thumb, despite being completely unrelated. What do scientists call it when two unrelated animals independently evolve similar solutions to the same problem?
Convergent evolution?
3 out of 3.
The notes paid off.
They always do. That's the red panda, a real creature in a real place doing real things that sound like magic.
If you want to go deeper, the storybook, the pictures, all of it, find us at Fenekie.com.
Until next week, Fennekians, keep wondering.